how to run a sample on an H932. First, what you have to do is prime your burette. Currently, there is no titrant in the burette. For peracetic acid titration, you will need your sodium hydroxide titrant, which has been sent to you. You will prime your burette with this. To do this, you do the following. You insert the tubing from the left-hand side, which is the inlet, into the bottom. Make sure it touches the bottom so it can suck up the solution. To prime the burette, you want to make sure that the outlet, which is this tubing coming from on the right-hand side, is in a waste beaker. Insert it into a waste beaker where it can be dispensed into. The idea is to make sure that you have enough solution in your burette and in your tubing ready for titration. Now, this is the screen, and these are the allocated keys according to the buttons seen above. You select burette, you see prime burette, press the enter key. Now you can change this, but ideally you want to prime it 3 times, which means the pump will go through 3 times to make sure the air bubbles are gone and that you got enough sodium hydroxide in your burette and tubing. For this, you press enter, and as you can see, the pump will expel what's in there now through this tubing into here, so you will see air coming through. This process will go through 3 times, and by the end of it, this will be full of sodium hydroxide. And at this stage, you don't have to do anything. The instrument does everything. And this is the last purge, and you can see the sodium hydroxide is being dispensed into the waste beaker. Okay, the priming has done, your burette and the instrument is ready. Now to get your cap off of your pH probe, your probe will look slightly different. That's fine. Unscrew the top just slightly, just so you can get some flow going. And now rinse all 3 of them, because you don't want any residue of either past sample or any chemical on these prior to titration. So just rinse like so. Give it a good rinse, no storage solution or anything. Now, sample preparation. For peracetic acid, you will need to measure 50 mils. Initially use 50 mils of your sample from your tank, and you can either measure it out with a pipette bulb, or because we don't have 50 mil, we're going to do it with a measuring cylinder. Ideally, you want to be using a pipette, which is going to be the most accurate, with a pipette bulb. So you pour in your sample, 50 mils. And you need this quite accurately. Pour it into a small beaker. Now, you need to insert all the probes and tubing into this sample prior to titration. So tubing, lower. Now you need to lower it so that your pH probe is submerged enough to take measurement, like so. the tubing, pH probe, stirrer, temperature probe, all submerged in your sample. Going back to the instrument now, let's get the titrator ready for titration. You go, press escape to go into the previous screen, which is peracetic acid. Now, if you do not have this on your main screen, you can go select method, and you can see the list of methods, and you use the up and down arrow key to navigate this until you find the method that you require. You press enter, simply press start, and the titrator will ask the volume of your sample. Here you enter 50, or if your concentration is too high, you can go 25 ml, press accept, and the titration will begin like so. Please be mindful that this titration is not an actual peracetic acid titration sample in here. This is just an example. So one of the features you can have during titration is you can press view curve to have a look at your titration. Ignore this curve because this is not what your sample is going to look like. Now, during titration, you can hear the stirrer, and you don't actually have to do anything. You just have to wait until the end where a result is given. Okay, this titration has been manually terminated by me because I need to go into showing you another function, which includes results. If you need to view previous results, you can either do the last result or review available results. Press enter and your results will come up. And to start again, you press start, next titration, make sure you rinse the probes between, and your next sample is ready to test. That's it.